Hello everyone, this is me Ikra from Pakistan. I warmly welcome to all that you join us today event. Uh, this is me Ikra from Pakistan. I am the founder of IQ Foundations and CEO of Pak Khalifa Foundation, and I have also experience in working in the different projects, and I'm also the deputy director with the IIU. So I would like to call Mr. Professor Hayat. Mr. Professor Hayat Hashni from Tunisia, the coordinator of International Youth Development Council of the International Internship University, and an advanced digital educator, global mentor, top 10 American COP alumni member, and she is with the many international organizations. She has been awarded many national and international awards. Dear Professor Hayat, please urge the audience about the International Internship University. Thank you.
Thank you for the great intro there, Akra. And now I will introduce our beautiful and incredible IIU. International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs, and it is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internships to their learners across the globe with the help of its 1,000 plus global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents. Under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Payush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. The visionary Payush Pandit had just one dream: no child should be deprived of education. He is working towards it day and night. He is safeguarding and promoting education and well-being of learners at all times of life is commendable. Now I will talk about IIU, International Youth Development Council. The role of the youth is simply to renew, refresh, and maintain. Youth have a role to renew and refresh the current stages of our society, including leadership, innovation, skills, etc. Youth are expected to advance the current technology, education, politics, peace of the country. As rightly said by the founder of IIU, Mr. Payush Pandit Sir, youth are the future of the world. So youth development is directly related to the development and progress of the world. With the vision to improve the lives of children and adolescents by meeting their basic physical, developmental, and social needs, and by helping them to build the competencies needed to become successful adults. Payush Pandit Sir formed IIU, International Youth Development Council. IIU Youth Development Council foresees a world where all young people are inspired and equipped to realize the future they want. It helps youths all over the globe to improve their lives through an educational process that applies knowledge to critical issues, needs, and opportunities of education and empowerment. We at IIU Youth Development Council committed to a complete makeover of the youths of the globe with the help of counseling programs and training sessions on leadership, legal education, lifelong education, entrepreneurship, health and hygiene, public interaction, soft skills, wellness, and rejuvenation, languages, culture, visual and performing arts, parenting and multitasking, productively are undertaken with enthusiasm. Payush Pandit strongly believes that youth of IIU, IYDC should meet their counterparts across the globe to broaden their horizons of knowledge, understand cultural perspectives, and assimilate the best practices to incorporate in their lives, thereby enhancing the flavor of living a life of dynamism, power, and economic fulfillment, to leave a mark and legacy for posterity. IIU Youth Development Council connects youths with opportunities to transform their lives. So for me, I believe in youth empowerment, and we are all youth, and we should really do our best. I'm educators, and I did my best to increase knowledge, to be successful. And really, I believe in youth empowerment and education. Education is the mother of leadership. Yes, we are leaders, and we are leaders of yesterday, tomorrow, and today. That's all. Thank you for your attention. The floor is yours, ma'am. Ermina, Miss Ermina, am I audible?
Yes, thank you so much. We will continue with our program. Today our topic is the role of youth in a digital education. So the educations enhance our skills. It reduces unemployment rate. It promotes socioeconomic developments. But the youth to be the benefit from these opportunities. All young people must be equipped with a range of technological skills and have affordable access to the connectivity. For the young peoples to engage with meaningful society, youth must have equipped with the skills and opportunities to advance their visions and connected the future. IIU Broader Generation Connects initiative seeks to empower youth. International Internship University is also playing a very vital role in providing the education. International Youth Development Council of IIU with the rich youth of the world and with the educational to achieve the economic growth with the skills manpower. Youth is the hope of future. Let us know more about the International Youth Development Council of IIU. I would like to call our first speaker, a great civil defense warden for the Ahmedabad unit, founder and CEO of Indian First Anonymous Global, entrepreneurial systems, only Sol Army training industry. Karate to Federation's Gujarat affiliated KDF member of Sidhu Roy Karate Sports Academy, state president of Gujarat, Brennan ambassador for the three international associations, international trainer, mentor, invited speakers, chef, guest, chief guest, panelist, author, professor, educator, renowned educationalist on businesses and entrepreneurs, cybersecurity, research, material art teachers, masters conferences, Ricky Grain Masters, Lema Fair Heller, yoga and meditations trainer, inventor of the spiritual engineer, natural healing surgeon. Since 2013, have influenced around 1,000 youth of the India throughout 120 national international invitations, 15 national international awards, lifetime achievements, along with the 4 national international interviews. Indeed, have the great inspiring youth personality, Dr. Leena Patel from India and with us. Thank you.
I request someone's audio is on. Kindly off that. There is so much noise in the background. Thank you.
Okay. Should I start, ma'am? Snigdha, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening to all global educators. Indeed, a pleasing gratitude evening, because I want to feel, to express the gratitude towards the IIU founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, sir, brother of mine, the whole organizing team, dear hosts, and dear all the connecting speakers and listeners, audience, and worldwide, those who are listening today, all the youth, I wish you all blessings and love. First of all, let's begin the topic. I mean, this is an international conference on the role of the youth in the digital education. Let's understand first, what is a digital word mean by? Digital means we understand that today, after pandemic situations across all the countries, we have come to conclude of one thing, that we all are handicapped without the computer, without the digital world. Everything has its pros and cons as well. So first, let us understand this digitization. I mean, already worldwide, there is an expansion of the role of their digitization and equipments and devices, digital devices, in a short way. Digital means related to the computer and all the digital devices, equipments used for the communication systems and all the systems of the country to connect, to communicate, to convey, to share everything. Education, dear friends, this is a very burning point. As an educator, I would like to share across the global, worldwide, to the youth, that let us understand the morality and the importance and the existence of this word in our life, in our thoughts, words, and actions, because there is a constant flow in each human life, that your thoughts will turn into your words will turn into your actions. So ultimately, what we do and our deeds make our destiny. So education is the pioneer for this destiny making designing process. So what is an education? In a one line, I can conclude and convey to all dear young friends of the world today, that education means how you treat the people around you 24/7 hours. This is called education. How we treat, with the internal morality, internal ethics, internal emotions, and you can say emotional thoughts as well, emotional intelligence. Along with the artificial intelligence, today we are all growing in the dimension of the robotics technology and the era of artificial intelligence, rapidly growing. The world is rapidly growing, I mean, in the engineering sense and scientific sense. So today there is a prominent role of the youth that we have to understand. That after understanding digital education, we have to understand that what can be the roles of the youth while they are connecting with this digital education. I mean, there was an era before this, before the decade, I mean, there was no that much use of computer as well. Right now, we can see since 2 decades, everything is going to be digital, everything is going to be online. And after the pandemic, it has taken a rapid twist in the utilization factors, parameters, and utilization sense, and utilization flux as well. So what I mean to say is, there are prominent roles of the youth in this era that is called digital education today. This is purely versatile and dynamic roles of the youth. Let us understand how. I can say, according to the programming language as Java, there is a polymorphism. One entity has a different forms. that is called polymorphic entity. The same we can deploy this concept as a logical way to think the role of the youth in this digital education era as well. So the first of all, the first role of the youth in this digital education is as a provider. The first role as the youth, I mean, see, we understand that what is the youth? Physically, we can see from the age of 18 to 45, we can consider the human as the young one. But we can also attach the marvelous, prominent definition of the living standard that age is just a number, young is a feeling. Are we young by the mind, by the body, by the soul, by the spirit, by the thoughts? Let us ask that also. Because we have to be provider. When we have to be the provider, we have to be purely versatile and dynamic, to be adjusting and flexible enough to at least to share and convey the basic role of the education through the digitization. So dear friends, let us be the provider. That is the first role of the youth always. If we can be the provider, because we are the technocrat generations, our ancestors were not that much used to be with the great utilization of the technological devices, so they don't have that kind of grip and skills to use the technological things and devices regularly. They have no grip, they have no any enough confidence and experience enough also. But these days everybody is connecting with the online world. Everybody is knowing how to use the mobile, how to at least operate the computer. So what is the role of the youth as the provider? I mean, because once we provide this kind of communication in a very noble and pure way, that at least we want to provide the facility, we want to provide the the reducement of the manual efforts, we want to provide that kind of manifestation for any kind of events, symposiums and all that. Youth can be in this role of the provider as well. Second role, uh, the youth has as to be the mentor. Because see what we say, the best example of the mentorship is our mother. Mother has no relation, no religion. Every single mother from every single country is the best example of the mother, mentor. So the mentorship is very challenging, because in daily, day by day communications and day by day utilization, the youth is in the central community idea for sharing each logical executions and the operations inside the world and inside their own internal world as well. So if they can be the mentor enough to maintain the discipline, even in the digital world, digital education, they can be so supreme heroes of the country. I mean, because after the pandemic situations, we can come to know. I give you the very funny example that if there is a Zoom meeting, Zoom class, that out of the 10 students, 8 would be there, but 2 would be just online. They are actually offline. I mean, off. They are not joining any sessions in the class. So discipline is also important, as far as where there is an education of the children, education of the youth, education of the mid-age youth. So we have to be mentored from all the aspects. I mean, aspects of learning, aspects of the disciplines, and third is aspects of the education. Because we do believe, because we all are today, why we are talking about this, we have this goal to achieve that our younger ones can at least come to know then what is the potentiality of the mentorship in this digital education, and what is the role of the youth in this. Exactly. So those who are learning and those who are listening today from worldwide corners of the global countries, different countries, they must understand that from any country, if from any country we belong, only the one thing is important, that how do we maintain and how do we become the mentor of our forthcoming generations? Because if we are young today, one day we will be elder. So there is no kind of definition that after the 18, this is called the adult. No, it's not like that. We can say that 5 years younger child or children can be also considered as a part of the youth. So this is a second role. Third role, this is very important. The role of the youth in the digital education is as educator. Once they are enough educated, there are two types of educations. I mean, they can be self-educated and through this degrees and, they are on the papers. I earlier told that. What is a real education? They must understand. We have to understand this because daily we go for many year communications with the people around us. Today, let's have the best example. Through online this Zoom conference, we are communicating each corner of the world, countries and the youth. This is the grand example. And we hats off. We salute the efforts of the IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit and his whole team as well, to reach out a single younger ones of the country, to reach out the limitations, to help them to overcome the limitations, weaknesses, to help them to increase the confidence enough to boost up their confidence. As being the educator, at least how to be educator, that is another thing. The educator is the one who can give and serve a good education. You can say the value-based education, moral-based educations, not only marks and numbers-based education. Let's understand this. Because from the very first standard to the journey till the end, the buddy is only worrying about the numbers till the 12th standard. Then after they focus for the skills and skill development process. So let's terminate that misunderstanding. That from the very first year of the childhood, they must be taught how to be the educator and what is the real education as well. Through the digital education, we can turn to millions and trillions of people sitting on one chair today, same like as the example of today's conference. So sitting on a one corner, sitting on a one chair, sitting with, one mobile, that is a digital device, we can reach to the millions and trillions, tremendous numbers of the youth just using this potential, powerful weapon called education. And this is the role of the youth in the digital world, digital, you can say, education. And fourth role is as a leader. Leadership is very important. The reason is that we can't say that those who are on the stage and they have been, leader is never a celebrity. Leader is never a celebrity. Leader is the one who leads their own thoughts in the positive directions 24/7. Let's understand this role. The youth is very important. Youth has the tremendous numbers of, positive energy, positive potential, power to uplift their countries, to put out the peace, because youth is angry today, short-tempered today. We have to make them understood that each country should be in the peace and number of countries should not quarrel. We have the latest example between Ukraine and Russia. There is no meaning of any wars. As a leader, we have to grow this kind of leaders as well through IIU and through this kind of conferences. This is the goal enough. To reach all the numbers of youth of the different countries that let us start peace, patience, and purity. P3 protocol. So to enlighten this, all the dynamic roles of the youth, I just want to gift all my dear youth from each country of this world. Let's make the world better to live. Let's make this world better to spread the peace, happiness, and joy. We can be enough educated only when we live this peace, joy, and happiness in our thoughts, words, and actions as well. We have to establish this harmony enough. We can't criticize, we can't demoralize anyone, we can't discourage anyone, because each individual human has the enough equal right to grow, to set up their life standards, to speak with the freedom. So let's grow this. Each girl and each woman has the right to grow their life. And this womanhood, this youth will definitely design their future in a very progressive and positive and in a right direction. What is the right direction? Where there is no chaos, there is no crisis, there is no criticism. Where is the right direction? Let us understand this role as a youth. The youth can be the fifth role, and the last one is, according to my experience and all the knowledgeable readings and all my soul insights and soul instincts, I would like to share The dear youth, let's be the designer. Our fifth role is as a designer. So the role in the digital education is the designer. Every youth can be the designer of their own course. I mean, today we can understand that cybersecurity has a full scope. Let's make them, enough added to earn enough. Every country is faces right now recession and starvations of the good jobs, good careers. Everybody from the world forget about the limitations of the religions, forget about the casteism, forget about the different problems and issues. As an engineer, as a I would like to convey each youth of the country that we have to be the solution maker instead of the problem makers. Right now we can think also in other side that the one can be the disaster if they are not enough educated. So there is a prominent role as a provider, mentor, educator, leader, last but not least as a designer. So they can design different courses that can serve best to get the charity, to help the countries people, different youth communities. They can go to reach every corner by sitting in from the laptop and the mobile. That youth can help the youth can help them youth to appoint with the good opportunity of the job careers and good bright future. As youth can be also leading with the yoga and meditation also to establishment of the mental peace, because nowadays we can challenge the world that the world is seeking the peace. World has enough number of amount of successful people, scientists, doctors, engineers, but today right now the world badly needs the peacemakers, storytellers, actual kind of every kind of lovers. Every country needs this kind of healers, lovers, and designers, leaders, educators, mentors, and providers. Can we be? Let's ask ourselves and let's ask the youth as well. Can you be? If you can be, you are surely the designer without a degree. You are surely a good leader without the celebrity profile. If you are surely, if you can be, you are surely educated without any kind of degree on the paper, education degree on the paper. You are mentor actually, like your mother, whether the mother is literate or illiterate, the love is never illiterate, the education is never illiterate. The education kind of value based education, digital education goes to survive and to transform this enough. Every country needs this. We can forget about every limitations of thinking, because God has created the awesome creatures called humans. They can think, they can speak, they can act. No animal can act like us. So what is the role of this digital education? Let us understand. Let us spread this enough amount of education to each soul, each mind, and each heart. And last but not least, I would conclude my speech with this, egoless approach. Everybody is fighting and quarreling with each other, and each country is fighting with each country due to this ego. Why should we have the ego? It should be a constructive ego. That you are existed, that's enough. That's enough. You are existed, that's your constructive ego. In the ego fight, also digital education has to suffer a lot. So there will be a role of the youth there as a mentor. You have to maintain. Because when we are maintaining something, managing something as a mentor, it's an evergreen challenge always to integrate the different communities, different people from different countries, different states, different, natures, because each human has their own pattern of thinking and style of thinking. Every single mindset has their own pattern to live. So this is all about the role of the youth in digital educations. And I hope these words will definitely help the youth of the world today, those who are listening, those who will listen laterally. So thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. God bless us all. Let's spread the love, joy, and happiness through the digital education, with the value-based education, definitely indeed in engineering discipline. So let's make the youth disciplined enough with, the harmony of the thoughts, words, and actions as well. I hope this all the roles will definitely be enlightened in each youth of the each country. That God bless us all, and let you all serve the best in your life. All the best, and God bless you all. All those who are connecting in this meeting, I'm thankful to each and everyone, Snigdha ma'am and IIU team, and all the eminent speakers from the global and the dear host, co-host, and everybody. So thank you so much. Let's go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lina. Wonderful speech, and thank you so much for giving us this wonderful knowledge. And very thankful to be the part of our tutor program. So we will continue with our program with the second speaker. I would like to introduce Azra is a 14-year-old and currently a scholar who loves and thrives on education, being the key to creating the best life for herself as well as the other around her. Azra hails from the beautiful South Africa. She loves to draw, sing, and read, not forgetting an all-time favorite of baking in her spare time. Azra is also the ambassador for the International Internship University, and it is certified one of the top 50 youth leaders of the world day Lonnie UK. She excelled in her fields of the leadership as a speaker on other global platforms, as well as including the International Professional Youth Group. As a youth leader, Asra believes in leading by making a difference in the lives of her peers, as well as wherever she finds it possible. She enjoys assisting in her community with a feeding scheme, distribution of blankets, and helping others youth by offering her time to do talks when needed, as well as a care of animals. Azra is already leader of the world and believes that as a youth, she is responsible for the activities which aims to positive. She is keen and advocate scholar who loves schools and whose educators believe she is the asset to the schools and to her community. Azra is born to lead. Yes, Azra, warmly welcome you to speak.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are. I'm Azra from South Africa, and today I will be talking about the impact that digital education has on our youth of today. Now, what is digital education? Digital education or digital learning is any type of learning that is accompanied that by technology or by instructional practice that makes effective use of technology. It encompasses the application of a wide spectrum of practices, including blending and virtual learning. We use digital education in our daily lives. Take, for example, you have a specific assignment or an assessment that has been given to you, and you have to do research on it. So what do? You use the internet. And during COVID, basically, the COVID-19 pandemic significantly impacted the education sector and resulted in the closing of schools around the world. Access to education services was disrupted for more than 1.6 billion children around the world and youth globally. While many countries were able to switch to online education, many developing countries, especially those experiencing multiple crises, could not provide online education due to lack of affordable technology and resources, economic contractions, political uncertainty, and other reasons. According to a few studies, crossing the digital divide is crucial for us to all benefit, and for this, I would like to talk about the 4 aspects. So, there are 4 stepping stones that enable youth to be able to cross the digital divide and gain the necessary skills to thrive in a digital world. Connectivity, meaning addressing the challenges of access to reliable power and internet services, physical devices and platforms. Access, non-technological tools are just as important as technological ones. Youth need to have their fundamental health, dietary, and safety needs met to be able to use these digital tools in their daily lives. In the most marginalized groups, including young women and girls, these elements are crucial and are critical. Digital literacy, meaning having access to education about how to safely and productively use digital tools, is imperative. This information should include native language educational resources, awareness of online dangers, and basic learning skills. Work-ready skills. When young people have acquired basic skills, access to advanced education, training platforms, and opportunities that will allow them to progress and take full benefit from their digital skills. And in conclusion to all of this, I would like to say one thing. Technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Azra. Thank you so much, Azra, for this wonderful speech. And we learned so many things from you and we inspired from you. So I would like to call our third speaker, Ms. Purvi Gautam. GATE qualifications, MS in Medical Microbiology, BS Medical in Microbiology, a great academic scholar. She wants to build a career in a teaching profession to help and motivate the students in achieving their goals through her best knowledge and efforts. She is having an excellent communication skills and desire to work in an educational field. Knowledge is utilizing all the modern teaching aids, such as she is having an excellent communication skills and desire to work in an educational field. Knowledge is utilizing all the modern tech aids, such as computer, internet, suffering, PowerPoint presentations. She is eager to fight against cancer hospitals, infections preventions, and control. Don't. Just Ms. Puri, you can speak.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Purvi Koti from India, and today I'm going to give my views on a topic digital education and the contribution of youth on digital education. So, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, very much. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's begin with a topic and understanding the term digital education. Digital education or e-learning is the innovative way of learning which involves technology and digital tools for learning. Digital learning makes use of the interactive element of the computer, applications, and software and provides many advantages like user learning at their own place. It is a perfect blend of digital tools and content and instructions from the educators. The digital education is mainly involved in knowledge-based training and assessment, stimulation-based learning and training, creative and instructional games, problem-solving training. Advancement in the telecommunication and computer technology has brought a new expectations for youth. Youth has major responsibilities in the shaping of the future of our society. With the help of technologies, youth can develop following competencies and abilities. These are critical thinking ability, computer resources and applications in form of case study, problem solving, and intelligence system can help to extend this ability This ability is very important quality for the success in the information society. The next one is process design ability. Finding the correct way to communicate and access needed resources is very important in the accomplishment of assignment. Learning to design an effective process for assessing and analyzing information is very essential for youth in today's multi-resource environment. Teamwork. In today's workplaces, accomplishment of all the assignments are based on the teamwork. This facilitates in learning of how to be a team member and how to contribute to the process and how to use computer for communication with team members. Outcome-oriented process. In today's multi-resources environment, it is important for youth to design process. Now, let's understand the role of youth in a development of society by utilizing digital technology. The digital technology plays an important role in health development. The youth consider themselves as much as consumers as they are patients. This is because the youth become more educated and more affluent and are willing to seek the best option for their health issues. For example, the development of Fitbit. This includes tracking the sleeping patterns of person, monitoring and tracking heart rate, keeping track of the level of oxygen in their blood, GPS tracking during exercise. The knowledge about digital technology helps in development such beneficial product which leads to development of society. The another example of digital literacy is an example of economy exchange through online platforms. There are many advantages of it, such as it reduces the dependency on cash, and with digital payment, one can send and receive money from anywhere in the world at the click of one button. In today's world, the mobile phone alone is enough to make and receive payments, which reduces the risk of losing money and also reduces the hassle of carrying cash everywhere you go and keeping it safe. Likewise, digital literacy helps in many ways in our day-to-day life, such as helps us in finding jobs, helps in booking online cinema tickets, bus tickets, and help in getting best products through online shopping sites. It also helps in effective communication and helps the youth to find and select the information. Like through IIU platform, we are trying to convey the information on digital education which may help others to grab and select the information which are useful for them. Digital education gives the young people the ability to take advantage of emerging opportunities associated with digital technologies. Next is the role of youth as an educator or learners. Digital education provided the following changes for a more realistic and productive teaching and learning environment. It provides teachers with more options to teach and more time to evaluate progress of activities. It prevents barriers such as when, where, and limited resources. It changes teacher-centered to teacher-student-centered education. It changes from process-oriented to outcome-oriented teaching. How digital education can help in improving the education? This is achieved with the help of digital technologies, which includes internet. The internet is an international high-speed electronic communication network, which allows individuals at institutions or at home to access each other's computer for rapid communication. For some, the value of the internet is that it allows users at remote location to sign on to computers where they have account, often using connection software called Telnet. For others, rapid electronic communication and document sharing replaces phone conversations and facilitates collaboration. World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is a system of linking information in a way that allows for easy movement between related documents and sites. Highly detailed text, graphics, and videos are available on a wide array of topics. Educators and learners utilize web resources such as course web pages give students easy access to assigned readings and reference material, student presentations to their classmates through creation of web pages, student access to resource information for papers or research projects, access to discussion groups and the latest information on particular topics. Electronic mail enables students and educators to communicate with each other and with people all over the world. It provides many advantages to learners like students send questions electronically to the educator, which gives them an opportunity to express a doubt or misconception that they might have been afraid to voice in class. Students send or post questions about course material and are encouraged to answer each other's question. Faculty members can monitor these exchanges to gauge student understanding and progress. Faculty members distribute or post homework assignments, homework solutions, exam solutions, and other supplemental information electronically. Advantage of interactive computer software. Increased motivation because software packages offer feedback and respond to the questions. Increase enjoyment of learning because students shift from the passive role of learning to the active role of becoming seekers of knowledge. Students can interact on a one-to-one level and are free to ask questions without feeling intimidated or embarrassed. The positive effects of digital education on youth includes creativity and freedom of expression, socialization and relationship building, independence and empowerment, problem solving skill, chance to learn more and complex tasks from home, acquire chances to contribute more for the society, and helps in personal development, which help them to withstand with global challenges. So, from the overall discussion, we conclude that the individual should develop required skills in digital technology which help them now and near future. In order to affect change in the era of digital technology, the youth should develop skills which are efficient and relevant in order to provide persons with the digital tools they need to succeed in everyday life as well as in potential future careers. Thank you to everyone and majorly to IIU to providing me such a golden opportunity to present my views, and thank you everyone.
Thank you so much for this wonderful speech. And we are very glad to see you here. So our next speaker is Miss Ola. She is the neuro language coach, business English tutor, exams trainer, and a full-time mom. She is accelerated by the International Coach Federations, US, and the International House Teacher Training Institute. She speaks 4 languages and is currently learning her 5th one. Olham helps people learn language effortlessly by applying techniques and principles of NLC. She also prepares students for international exams such as FCE, CAE, CPE, IELTS, and TOEFL, and provides a language mentoring in the business world. I would like to very warmly welcome Ms. Olha. Please continue with your words and speech.
Hello to everybody. I would just want to say hi and say love from Ukraine. Thank you, Ikra, for such an incredible introduction because I'm truly blessed, and it's a true honor to be part of this community and take part in this international conference as a speaker. And let me just mention that having listened to the previous participants and previous speakers, I'm more than convinced that our young people are paving the way for a brighter future to all the other generations that are ahead. So let me just share my screen. Yeah. And continue with my presentation. So as they are creating the future, I cannot but quote Leonard Sweet, because the future is not something we enter, the future is something we create. Isn't that right? So on the whole, people think about digitalization and digital education as something really far-fetched. You know, technology in the future, people wearing their VR headsets, just sitting at their home and doing nothing else during the whole day. Or AI, meaning artificial intelligence, and robots walking on the streets, taking jobs from everywhere, you know, people being miserable, and that's, you know, just the world spiraling into darkness. But we should stop thinking about science fiction, because we do not live in it. We live the reality, and we need to live the future. And revolutionary changes in various fields, education included, are taking place right now, because computers, laptops, tablets, and different kinds of smart boards are being implemented in our day-to-day lives, in our classrooms, home, and wherever we go, basically. And it's not the novelty anymore. And we as educators or as a community, we just cannot be bystanders in this process. And whether voluntarily or not, we are all really involved in this process as teachers, parents, as children going to school and using our tablets, or even principals, activists, you know, and different kinds of people who represent different communities. So in order to have firm assurances in our children's future, we must embrace those changes and transform them, implement them in education to our children's benefit. And ideally, technology and education should go hand in hand, but as one of the speakers has mentioned, the disruptions that were brought by the COVID-19 pandemic were so unthinkable that the world was not prepared to comprehend what was happening, and the world was shaken by it, and we were forced to react to this new normal abruptly. Literally millions of people had to learn how to use some programs and applications from scratch. Schools had to retrain their staff in order to meet the demand, in order to keep teaching their pupils and students, because their staff, the teachers, were just not ready to use technology, because they just tried to shy away from it. They were too conservative in their opinion, and that's what happened. So, you know, from online meetings with your peers to lessons and college graduations, getting your PhD or talking to your doctor, everything was carried out online. And it's not just that. The speed with which we shared information is just so immense that sometimes we forget that right now we live in this global informational bubble with no boundaries whatsoever. When the war broke out in Ukraine, the next day, everybody knew about it. When something happens in America, everybody in Australia knows. Something happens in India, it's the same thing. And technology has played its part when we talk about modern day heroes and what they did in their respective fields, like Malala, Greta, or Emma, who were able to be the torchbearers and lead millions of people, start global movements, and just share information so fast that they led the whole crowds. And they implemented great changes in their fields, like the human rights protection and the environmental protection, the gun control laws, and so on and so forth. So this couldn't have happened if the internet hadn't been involved. So right now, if you are trying to contemplate on this, if you think that you're the representative of this generation, you're full of ideas, full of zest, and you want to share them, then go ahead, because this is a great momentum for you. And, you know, as they say, it's you are never too young to lead, and we are never too old to learn from you. And that's absolutely right. The most disheartening thing for me to hear as an educator is that an increasing amount of parents still complain about technology being implemented and used in education. And the most commonly spread disadvantages they name are quality concerns, minimal socializing, internet connection problems, dishonesty, i.e. cheating in classroom and so on, minimal supervision, and future challenges that we are not aware of. So they view technology as a threat, as something that may disrupt the whole relearning process. And they are kind of skeptics, but I'm naming all these disadvantages just to get my point across, because as I always say to those skeptics, there are as many disadvantages as there are advantages. And if we look at the flexibility of learning, it's absolutely stunning. So we can learn anything from any nook of the world. You can travel with your kids around, you can live in different countries, but you can still be involved in your classroom live, you can still chat with your peers, and you can still be in touch with your teacher. The individual attention they get is, again, immense, because they chat with their teachers, they text them, they get their feedback online, they can share audio messages or video chat with their tutors if needed. Then again, the appropriateness, the anonymity, because now I believe that everybody is aware of the fact that a lot of children feel inferior when they are being evaluated in front of the whole class. So the anonymity of your feedback is absolutely incredible, because you can compare yourself just to your previous self. Again, we have student-centered learning. We do not care about grades. We care about growth and development. And again, the accessibility is mind-blowing, because now almost 90% of all children can have access to the internet. So that's absolutely incredible. And I always say to those skeptics, what if I told you that 70% of you are actually in dire need of technology? What if you can be treated from a psychological disease only through computer-based learning? You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, and you'll get all your answers in a couple of minutes. Let me first share that I work as a neurolanguage coach, helping my clients learn foreign languages more efficiently and effortlessly without any kind of pressure. And that is done by being armed with the knowledge of neuroscience. And that neural part in it means that we take into consideration various aspects of how our brain functions. Because, as you may know, there are no two brains on the whole planet that are alike. So the uniqueness of how we think, of our mindset, and the way we perceive the world is absolutely stunning. We also care about how our brain perceives the world and what kind of hormones are released in specific situations. So, as I was saying, around 70% of all people suffer from something known as foreign language anxiety, i.e. the fear of speaking another language. It is also called xenoglossophobia, and it's the feeling of unease, worry, or nervousness and apprehension experienced in learning or using a second or foreign language. The feelings may stem from any second language context, whether it is associated with the productive skills of speaking and writing, or the receptive skills of reading and listening. So I believe that all of the people present here can relate to this problem in some ways, because looking back, we can remember those shy kids who would clam up and say nothing when they had to speak in front of their whole class, when they had to write something on the board, share information they know, have their homework checked, and so on. And they would just stand, I don't know, look somewhere and shy away from providing you as a teacher with their answers. And we then thought that maybe these are the kids who are too reluctant to do their homework, who are maybe just too lazy to actively participate in a discussion, or who are not meant to learn foreign languages. But the reality is that they might have been suffering from this foreign language anxiety, which is actually subdivided into different kinds, like the production anxiety, the most common one. And that means when somebody is afraid of speaking or writing, the evaluation anxiety, when children are afraid of taking tests and being given a certain grade, the reading anxiety or the listening anxiety, which are less popular, but I still have clients who are not willing to listen to any audios produced by native speakers because they are too afraid to lose their train of thought or not catch the main idea. So what was happening at the time is that their body was releasing the hormone, which is named cortisol, and that is the stress hormone. And the reaction of the body was the following. So their muscles were not relaxed, their blood pressure increased, their pupils dilated, maybe they had breathing problems because they had their heart rate increase and their blood flow to skeletal muscles increased as well. So what does technology have to do with all of that? You might ask. Well, there has been overwhelming evidence that technology and especially computer-mediated learning can be the answer to all these problems because our brain does not function on its own. Yeah, because every single detail around us influences the way we think, influences who we are, and how we act in certain situations. So even these minor things like the comfort of their own home, just sitting in their armchair, feeling that they are in a rewarding atmosphere, wearing comfortable warm clothes, or just snuggling in their favorite blanket, feeling this warm environment around them, or having pets around, just having their cat on their knees, stroking the cat, patting it, and feeling the warmth coming from the animal itself was a factor in how they acted in their classroom. Having their parents nearby or just being in a familiar setting all shaped how these kids behaved. And well, we righteously say that our home is our castle, and that's where we feel protected. And when we feel protected, our brain releases another hormone, actually a set of hormones, which are called the happiness hormones. And they are dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin, and serotonin, which trigger some of the neurological actions in our brain and strengthen our neural connections. So kids feel safer to share all the information they know. They retain information better. They can remember more information, and they can actually achieve greater results. So going into specifics, how can we as educators help and mediate the detrimental changes and effects of this foreign language anxiety? Well, of course, the most obvious and well-known answer is the computer-based programs like video chats, Skype, Zoom, Hangouts. And these are the platforms that allow a variety of actions where you can chat with your teacher, you can have breakout rooms where you can receive messages and so on and so forth, draw on the screen. So the interactiveness of it stimulates our kids to take a more active part in it. The second option, of course, is the blended learning. And these are the platform like Google for Education, Khan Academy, and so on. So even more inferior or shyer students would be more willing to take part in those because they combine online and offline learning together to achieve and stimulate better results. They can have feedback for their writing in real time, and they can, again, just compare themselves to their progress. But the most innovative and groundbreaking way that is already being tested is the VR setting, which you can see in the middle. And there are some companies like Fluent Worlds in Great Britain And this company actually enables lifelike digital touch experience of communicating with foreigners, with language teachers and fellow learners in a broad variety of situations in VR, so you can become fluent in a new language while overcoming feeling of inferiority, anxiety, embarrassment, and even uncomfort. You can create your own character, travel around the world while meeting new people at airports, railway stations, or parks in real time. Your teacher can divide you with opportunities, divide you into groups or pairs, and you can explore the city at the same time. So it looks like a quest, a scavenger hunt, or like just chilling and socializing with other people. So first, you constantly get exposed to a new language without even realizing it. You're surrounded by it all the time, but it just looks like a game to you. Then second, you interact with real people who want to reach the same goals as you and have the impression that they are just playing around. They can change the character so that it doesn't look like you and still can have fun together. But there are also quizzes and tests that you can take in order to see how you are progressing with language. But also you can enrich your language because there are various courses based on the enrichment of your vocabulary. There are pronunciation courses where you will be listened to by the native speaker and so on and so forth. So all in all, while technological advances might be, we might be facing them every day, we don't have to approach them with negativity, with prejudice and so on, because we can transform every new bit of opportunity into something that we will benefit from. And we need to be open to this because new doors have new opportunities behind them. And this is something that can provide even poor communities with imminent access to education. We can get our PhDs online. We can access the whole world just one click away, and even cure some of the psychological diseases like foreign language anxiety. So let's just take advantage of it and move forward together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna, for this wonderful speech and sharing your knowledge. And we learned so many things from you today. So I would like to continue our program with the third speaker, and she is Sahani, 17 years old, high school student, is a It's a various readers and an expectations orator. She is strongly focused, creative individuals with a great communication skills. She accepts nothing less than perfection and is an excellent team player. She is a part of student editorial board of Hindustan Time and has contributed the articles and videos for the same. While she also holds the positions of coordinator and student ambassador for the India and IIU, International Internship University Students Development Council, and the youth ambassador in International Youth Development Council. She is a poet and author, having published an anthology called Life Without the Dream, and has presented a number of book reviews. She is a non-profit activist and mental well-being enthusiast, having organized several donations camp for the Goonj NGO and some home orphanage, along with the crowdfunding fundraise with the habits and humanity during the pandemic to supply safety kits. She has won various awards and accolades at the national level competitions and conferences. She continued to actively work for the society and has doing various internships from a very young age. Yes, Ms. H. Sohani, you can continue with your speech. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for that great introduction. I am so grateful to be a part of this conference today. Thank you, IIU, for letting me have this opportunity to share my views on the topic, role of youth in digital education. So I'm just going to start sharing my presentation. Let me know if you're able to see it. I hope it's visible. Can you just yeah.
Yes, it's very much visible.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Great. So I'll begin. So let me begin with a quote. We cannot always build the future for the youth, but we can build our youth for the future. This quote is something that is very personal to me because as we can see that there's no way of predicting what the future holds, but we can build ourselves in such a way that we can follow and we can tackle any obstacle that the life throws at us. So today we'll be talking about youth. Now, what is youth and what is the importance of youth in life in general? And then we'll be moving on to digital education and how is it different from physical education and why should we prefer digital education? Moving on, we'll be talking about how youth and digital education are connected to each other and how we can improve the digital education that is there today. Talking about the first topic, what is youth? Now, the term youth entails, if we talk technically, it is the period of time between a person's childhood and adulthood, considering 15 years to 24 years of age. This is something that the United Nations has come up to recognize. And though youth as a term differs from place to place, each country could have a different meaning of what youth means, a different set of age group that they consider as the youth of the country. Now, what is the importance of youth? If you actually look up the statistics, there is 1.2 billion youngsters that are falling in the age of 15 to 24 years. And that accounts for 16% of the global population. That I think is a huge number, and they are the future leader of the world. The number of youth is projected to have grown by 7% to nearly 1.3 billion in 2030, which is just 8 years from now. And a positive force, youth is a positive force for development in world economy, job opportunities, education, sports, etc. Now, it's just a small picture that shows that youth has the power of doing whatever they want, of building the world in a way that benefits everybody. So the youth's voice matters. Moving on to what digital education is. Now, education is act of teaching or gaining knowledge, whether it be teaching students, whether it be you learning from a teacher, but the act of exchange of knowledge is what is considered as education. Now, you can classify education into physical and digital education. Physical is what we have been following for the past so many years, which requires brick and mortar, school buildings, teachers, notebooks, pencils, and all the physical things. It happens in person, face to face, in real time. Whereas digital education requires technology. It could be online, it could be how we're connecting today on a Zoom platform, or it could use certain gadgets, AI, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and whatnot. It requires gadgets like a laptop, a phone, or a tablet, which is pretty self-explanatory. And it can be accessed from anywhere. It is remote. If I were to sit in another place today, but I could still join this meeting, if not from my home. That is what digital education refers to. Now, why should we go for digital education? These are just 5 very basic reasons why. There are so many more, but let's list these 5 down first. Now, it is remote, like I said. You can access digital education anywhere or anytime, and you can have classes or expert sessions from all over the globe. Suppose I am interested in fashion design, and and I am not able to get a good institute in India or someplace else where I want to go, but I am unable to do that. In this case, I can connect digitally online to a professional from the place that I want to go to. And this can all be done while sitting at home. Third point being future ready. We all know that digitalization is happening and it is the future. So digital education is going to be the mode of education in a decade or so. So that helps the youth be future ready. Moving on, it will promote equality and equity. Now, how you ask that? If you look up to certain communities, even though we are modernizing, there are still there is still a divide between girls and boys. The ratio of girls attending school is still a lot less than compared to the boys. So having digital education that allows anybody to join a meeting, anybody to learn without any sort of discrimination. And moving on, the fifth point being sustainable. If you look up, if you compare today's physical environment and the digital environment, you would notice that it is very much eco-friendly. How we can say that, I'll just give you one example. Using notebooks, we're cutting down a lot of trees to produce that paper, right? And in the end, when it comes to World Conservation Day, on the very same sheet, we're writing, let's preserve our nature, let's not cut trees. Isn't that ironic? But when you go digital, there is no such use of paper, and that is somehow benefiting the environment, is it not? Moving on to youth and digital education. Now, how is youth connected to digital education, you may ask, right? So youth plays a role in digital education because it improves the quality of education. It will promote inclusion and ensure equity in the education, like I stated before. And since with changing times, there's a need of changing, need in change of the education system as well. And seeing as the amount of the number of students and youth there today, the education system needs to be developed in order to provide, cater to their needs. And that can only be done by youth-led innovations and assistive technologies, because they themselves know what is best for them. So youth do play, the youth plays a significant role in creating the education for the future. And seeing as Gen Z is the tech-savvy generation, which was born in the generation of the mobile phones and laptops, they are one of the biggest contributors to the digital education platforms that are coming up. Now, how can we solve the problems that we have today? These are just a few problems that I've listed down. There are a lot more, which are in urgent need of being solved. But these are a few. Inaccessibility. If you look up to certain communities where people cannot afford such gadgets like a phone or a laptop, they are not able to afford these classes that we were going through in the last 2 years of the pandemic. They had difficulty, seeing as cyber cafes are also reducing in number these days. Now, that can be resolved by government funding for underprivileged schools, like the government schools, for example, right? Now, digitally inequipped. That means when a child or a teenager is not well equipped with the knowledge of digital platforms, the digital literacy needs to be taught. Teaching digital empowerment skills at school, such as in a particular language that the child feels comfortable with, is one way to resolve the digitally inequipped problem that the students face. And moving on, being unaware. Students, even though the times are digitalizing, we are moving towards technology powered education systems, students are still not aware of how to use them. For example, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet. Students are still not well aware of how those tools work. So that can be done by organizing youth forums such as this one, where we are speaking today. These youth forums can inform them of what and how they're supposed to go about on the digital platforms. Now, if you look up to this, the next problem is lesser job opportunities. It's not such that the job opportunities are going to get less, considering the huge amount of AI and technology that we're seeing these days. Instead, The only issue is that the people are not aware of what job opportunities are arising because of the technology and artificial intelligence. Now, youth employment opportunities can be given to students through these youth forums that I have mentioned before. So I didn't want to take much time. So this is it. If you have any questions on my details, you can just contact me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And it's really wonderful for us, and we are valuable your presence. So I would like to thanks to all speakers, because to you all join us today and share your knowledge with us, and we learned so many things from you. And I also thankful to Mr. Piyush Pandit, who initiated this International Internship University and provided this learning platform. And we learned so many things from this platform. We can share knowledge from this platform. So I'm very thankful to Mr. Piyush Pandit, who always here to help others. And they support us providing education. And I was also thankful to IIU and whole team who are working for us and providing this wonderful platform for sharing and learning. So thank you so much, Ma'am Singta also. And thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck. Take care.
Thank you so much.